Hello everyone. Today I'm discussing about disinformation in the historical line using Chernobyl disaster like the main example of this topic. My name is Silvia Chernovskaita. I'm the student from the 10th grade and I'm here to represent Zarasai Arzulas Gymnasium. So my presentation is divided into four main parts, analyzing this information cloud from different perspectives. First of all, I will introduce the whole audience with the brightest reason why I choose this historical topic and what exactly I want to say about disinformation based on the Chernobyl explosion. We should remember that it happened 35 years ago, so why am I talking about it? Secondly, I could easily immerse you in my topic investigation. I will apply some background information, which for some of you will remind the Chernobyl accident, and maybe for others it will be some unknown facts. Understanding the facts and referring to different informational resources, I will shortly analyze the data and methodology, which help me to systemize the main point of my view. Of course, my presentation will find out some results discussing details with supporting examples and explanations. And finally, I will accept a reflection with the notes. To begin with, why am I inviting you to come to the past, more precisely to the Chernobyl? Probably for some of the historian professionals, the teachers or witnesses, I look a bit strange because I even wasn't born at all 35 years ago, and now being 17 years old girl, I'm trying to analyze this horrible day in 1986. However, don't get me wrong, I will try to review Chernobyl from my personal teenager's worldview, relating it, of course, with disinformation, which at that time, in my opinion, had another word, propaganda. There were many unconfirmed hypotheses in society in 1986 that were important for health and led to people fortune after the first of few accidents rated 7 grades on the International Nuclear Accident Scale all around the world. So it was interesting to know if humanity had something learned from the catastrophe that had swept the world, whether people would understand the possible consequences of this information for all of humanity's generations and offsprings in the future. So let's go to the past and try to prove the most important aspects, dates and places related with Chernobyl disaster. This nuclear accident occurred on Saturday, 26 April 1986 at the number 4 reactor in the Chernobyl nuclear power plant near the city of Pripyat in the north of the Ukraine SSR in the Soviet Union. You could notice that I highlighted the phrase near the city, and not in vain, since it shows that people, especially Pripyat's inhabitants, couldn't imagine how it will change their lives and with what an enormously wide bunch of lies, hidden facts they will encounter. And probably nowadays, every one of you can find at least one example which would show obscurity in some situations which don't depend on your liberty. Another historical fact complements that the disaster occurred during the Cold War, when the United States fought with the USSR, and the reputation was one of the most important aspects of leadership. Yes, I again brightened the word, and this time it's reputation. And not the last time, because reputation is like our appearance's crucial factor. I think opinion about us stayed equally vital in our lives as the same as in the past. At that time, in 1986, the governments tried to stay in the top of the world, showing their power, weapons, and wisdom, solving different problems, and rising their notions like equality. Now, in the 21st century, I can see the same things just with some refines. Now, as I mentioned in the beginning, propaganda was one of the sources of disinformation, suffering thousands of people as a result. What kind of misinformation and in what kind of forms, I will deeply explain in the results part of the presentation. And next, I would like to go to the data collecting and the essential part of method. So here you can see two data collecting samples. Firstly, I started to read and deepen the different articles, and eventually I chose the best article with the title, "The Deadly Fallout of Disinformation." There I encountered with different motives of Chernobyl disaster closely combined with disinformation at that time and today. And adding to this article, I also analyzed YouTube video, Chernobyl disaster 1986, what really happened. This kind of informational source helped me to check my general knowledge about an explosion and feel more sure-footed in this topic. Moreover, that my analysis wouldn't make and groundless findings and ideas, I picked up 15 comments. To sum up, an article and readers' comments took 1,630 words. Using Words Cloud program, I accepted for the most frequent words, Soviet, KGB, disinformation, and Chernobyl. I think that this means that Soviet government and its reputation were more important than the fate of the people. Every effort was made to maintain authority and to silence the seriousness of the catastrophe. We can make a prediction that it's the reason why word Soviet was more used than word Chernobyl. And talking more about the methods, steps, I will accept data coding to 4 semantic categories: negative emotions, distrust, personal values under threat, and external enemy. So generally analyzing the chosen article in website, YouTube video, and comments, I found 19 cases of negative emotions, 20 cases of distrust, and 25 cases of values under threat, and external enemy, 22 cases. So first of all, talking about 19 cases of negative emotions, we can notice really brutal words like manipulation, mismanagement, slanderous, and all of them are talking about unclear things. For example, mismanagement was obvious in Chernobyl, more precisely in Pripyat after explosion, when all leaders of SSR couldn't immediately accept vital decisions about evacuation and firefighting, instead trying to hide all seriousness. Next, I found 20 cases of distrust and words like cloud of lies, forgery, autocratic, which means that after global catastrophe, a lot of people, wherever they lived, were touched of suspense. Like today, even after this accident in our neighborhood, we hear different variations, and just after some time, we see the real light of the day. With distrust category is closely related another, named personal values under threat with 25 cases. It's the highest rate of the data coding, and here I am deeply concerned about correspondent. It's a profession to which, thanks, we can all day long track the latest news around the whole world, but not all of the news are correct. And the same problem contains over all historical line. Chernobyl disaster isn't an exception, it's just one case of the millions. Furthermore, in 1986, were more than one journalist who knew that what really happened, but all secret commissions and agents did everything that the truth wouldn't achieve an audience. And eventually, external enemy with 22 cases With some of them I already mentioned, like secret police, KGB, social media, humans. So what I want to say that after nuclear accident, people lived surrounded with controversial theories, and some of the people believe them, other not, and I think we should be so happy that eventually the seriousness of the situation could no longer be hidden and everything turned out. But we can only imagine what would have happened if the explosion had not been highlighted and disinformation had taken over. And nowadays, the historical resources can confirm all facts about the event in 1986, as well as in our daily routine, we don't have things provided 100%. That's why parents learn their children don't accept sweets from unfamiliar people, and that's why we subconsciously try don't trust all the news, new inventions or facilities without evidence, and attentive conversation with our relatives about their quality. In general, probably without the wide range of disinformation, humanity wouldn't lose innocent victims in the whole historical line. Now, I would like to share with you some quotations which inspired me to create this presentation, and I wish that it will inspire all listeners to shift something in their personalities, because if we want to live in a more clear society, we probably should start from ourselves. So, you can fool all of the people some of the time, and some of the people all of the time, but you can't fool all of the people all of the time. Abraham Lincoln. And the second one, you must be the change you wish to see in the world. Mahatma Gandhi. So I wish that humanity will learn from already done mistakes in all historical line, for instance Chernobyl, and will learn the youngest generations to become honest people. And I want to say thank you for possibility to learn new methodology types, understand the importance of disinformation, remember some historical moments, and of course improve my English reading, listening, speaking skills, and expand vocabulary range. I'm sure that with this new disinformation knowledge, I will apply in my daily routine encountering with suspicious information, and without any doubt, I will engage and introduce my friends with that. Thank you.